April 17th, and the cathedral bells ring out once more for yet another historic day in the city of Gloucester. The occasion today being the election of Lady Sarah, Countess Bathurst of Cirencester Park, to the position of High Sheriff of Gloucestershire. Lady Sarah will succeed the current High Sheriff, Roger Head, from Hineham Court. These invited guests are just some of the hundreds who will be filling the cathedral to capacity this afternoon. The Dean, the Very Reverend Stephen Lake, watches and waits. Gloucester City's two new police horses, Boris and General, head the procession. Headed by the mace bearers, the Mayor, Sebastian Field, makes his way to the cathedral precinct, where the Dean and others prepare to welcome his guests. And the huzzahs reflect the history of this occasion. The ceremony today is attended by judges and magistrates from the Crown and County Courts. The office of High Sheriff is over 1,000 years old, and currently there are 55 High Sheriffs in England and Wales. They receive no remuneration for the work, and no expenses are paid from the public purse. Dame Janet Trotter, the Lord Lieutenant of Gloucestershire, is present as the Queen's representative. For Boris and General, it's another job successfully completed. April 30th. To mark their 125th anniversary, the Gloucester City Cycling Club held an exhibition in the Life Museum. The Mayor, Sebastian Field, with his wife, was in attendance to formally open the 3-month event. The following day, club members have assembled in King's Square prior to riding to Dursley. This to recreate the club's first ever ride in 1891. Cycles, some modern, some vintage, with suitably dressed riders, make a colourful scene. But prior to setting off, this moment must be recorded for posterity. At 9:30 a.m. they set off. En route they will be joined by other members, some riding Dursley Peterson cycles. On completion of the ride, they can look forward to refreshments. The object of the club is to encourage and support all aspects of cycling. For more experienced members, there are plenty of opportunities to take part in competitive racing, a test of skill and stamina. However, some are quite content to go for a relaxing ride in the countryside, as here in the Forest of Dean, where a hot meal at Sudeley Ponds provides energy before they continue on their run. August, and a sunny Saturday sees lots of people in Eastgate Street with shopping in mind. However, today is their final opportunity to do so in British Home Stores. After over 40 years trading here in Gloucester, they will be closing their doors here today for the last time. A great loss to the city and of course to the staff, not only here but throughout the country. As a group, BHS has had over 80 years of retail experience here in the UK. Its brand was a firm favourite with high street shoppers and will be greatly missed by many. Southgate Street, and the recently arrived land train prepares for another run to the docks. It is here as a short-term experiment to test the viability of such a scheme. Its aim is to provide a speedy link from the city centre to the Quay shopping outlet and the docks. A similar venture was in operation a few years ago. It does not take too long to reach this destination, about 5 minutes. When a survey was carried out, some 70% were in favour of the land train as a regular feature. For some, a chance to browse at the stalls, then on to see what may be had in the quays. Or for some, a look at the different type of boats, the Waterways Museum, or take a canal walk. After all of that, it's time to return to the city centre. Hold on tightly, it may be a bit of a bumpy ride back to Southgate Street. It was. But it was an enjoyable and also a fun experience too. A sign of the times. The gate streets of the city are busy as hundreds come to see this year's retro show of classic and vintage cars. But no messing with these mean men, a reminder of Al Capone, Prohibition, and Chicago in the 1920s. The bonnet's up, and no doubt this proud owner discusses the engine specification and capabilities. This 1923 French car has had an interesting history. It raced in Le Mans and may have been buried during World War II to hide it from the Nazis. Cars of all makes, shapes, colours and sizes add to the interest and variety. News of the show must have been picked up in outer space, so the stormtroopers have decided to come to see for themselves. This car certainly has my approval and is available for weddings. It wasn't all cars, there was music too. Cars here were made in many countries. On view are famous names and makes once familiar, but no longer produced. However, thanks to these enthusiasts, we can still see them. Just in case there's any trouble, the police are here to keep an eye on all the comings and goings in Southgate Street. Many people were involved in this event, and these are just some of them who made the weekend a great success. November 20th. And town crier Alan Myatt, followed closely by Santa, Mayor Neil Hampson, Sheriff Saeed Hanstock, heads this year's lantern procession to a carol service in the cathedral. As ever, hundreds of children with their parents are taking part. The local schools represented here today are Hynham Academy, Cooper's Edge School, Elmbridge Primary, Tuffley Primary and Churchtown Village School. The theme of the celebration this year is the Arctic. For many weeks during the autumn term, the children and their helpers have been hard at work to produce these wonderful lanterns. The Mayor and Sheriff visited each school to watch them being made. The children certainly enjoyed themselves. The carol service is over. Most of the children have been collected by their parents and gone home. Now is a good time to see the workmanship and skills required to construct the lanterns. However, they cannot remain here too long. Another service will be starting shortly. And it's up to the teachers and parents to do what has to be done. And no doubt wondering how to get them home and where to store them. On the same day as the lantern procession, the Christmas lights were switched on in the gate streets. Work to prepare them started in October. In recent years, some of the lights had been subject to much criticism and disappointment. However, the current lights have met with general approval by most of the local residents, and no doubt will be part of the Christmas festive period in this city for some years to come. Christmas trees welcome the many visitors who have come to look for presents at the quays. But while some shop, many have elected to go ice skating. Previously there was an ice rink in King Square, but this is a first at this location. It has proved to be a very popular attraction, with skaters coming from near and far. The 450 square metre open-air rink was available throughout all of December and dismantled in early January 2017. It was anticipated that the rink would attract many thousands of skaters, and this target was easily achieved. There were many houses throughout the city with attractive Christmas lights, some modest and some spectacular. This one, in the Long Events area, is one of the latter. Not only was it award-winning, with its variety and number of lights, but it raised a considerable sum for charity. With Santa making frequent appearances, it is a real crowd pleaser and popular with young and old, and perhaps a fitting way to end this film of some of the events in Gloucester 2016.